All right, I have 8:30 on my phone. So good morning and welcome everyone. I wanted to first let you all know that this meeting is being recorded. I am Chris Burrows. I'm the Director of Data Protection and Governance with the Office of Data Governance and Analytics, who is the sponsor for the 2024 Datathon. The first Virginia Datathon was held in 2014, and this event continues to bring people together to leverage data and technology to find dynamic solutions to complex challenges. This year we have 20 teams and a little over 100 participants, and we're so excited to see what you're going to bring to the table. We have teams from state agencies, private companies, colleges, universities, and even a high school. We encourage you to tag the event on LinkedIn, hashtag 2024 Virginia Datathon. There will be a drawing for a prize given to one lucky person who posts about the event on LinkedIn from now until Thursday, April 18th. Make sure to use our hashtag and tag the Virginia Office of Data Governance and Analytics. So I'm happy to introduce Ken Pfeil. He is our Chief Data Officer for the Commonwealth of Virginia. He is a security and finance industry veteran, formerly serving as VP and Managing Director of Data Protection and Governance at OneMain Financial. Ken's information technology and security experience spans over 3 decades, with strategic, technical, and executive experience at companies such as Microsoft, Dell, Capital IQ, Meridian Global Network, Avaya, and Merrill Lynch. So Ken, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Chris. And it's good for me to actually find the unmute button this time, first off. So I'd like to welcome everybody this year to this year's Datathon. We try to have these on a yearly basis and tackle a different problem every year. The stuff that you guys come up with is just simply amazing, and it's so beneficial to the Commonwealth. Last year, we focused on maternal mortality, and we got some really good takeaways from a lot of the finalists and folks that participated in that. Health and Human Services was able to kind of put some of those good themes and those good ideas to use, and that's what this is about. This is making an impact to the Commonwealth and making an impact to your communities. Just by using brain power, right? And so we've decided this year that we're going to focus on something that's very near and dear to our hearts, and especially with the way that the economy has kind of gone, at least the past several years, with the escalation of inflation and rising prices, and folks, we've got to get more people back to work, right? This administration, in my view, has done an amazing job, so far. I mean, we have the highest participation in the workforce in Virginia history, but we're not done yet, not by any means. There is a lot that we can do and a lot that we can solve for, to make sure that one, that jobs are available, two, that we have qualified people to fill those jobs, and three, are we attracting, and another theme would be, are we attracting businesses to develop more jobs, within Virginia. So, with keeping some of those things in mind, we would like to, and Chris and Jesse and the folks are going to kind of lay the ground rules and everything, but keep that in mind when you're developing your solutions, right? We are an office within the Secretary of Administration. We have grown, I think, from about 4 people to approximately 30 people over the last 2 years. And we enable agencies within the Commonwealth to do effective and secure data sharing from agency to agency. Some of the things that we've worked on over the past couple of years are not only from the data governance side of the house, helping establish the right standards and get people's data programs kind of a lift, and in some cases with some agencies, we've helped drag them kicking and screaming from the 1980s into at least the late 1990s, I'd like to think. But phenomenal group of folks, very engaging, and that's what we do. We aim to solve agency problems and real world problems by using data. So having said that, we are working from a pool, and they'll explain the data sources available to you, but a pool of data from the Virginia Employment Commission, DBVI, the Economic Development Partnership Authority. We have data from the Department of Corrections. We have all kinds of data that will be available to you that you may have already perused and stuff already. But utilizing this data, we're really looking forward to seeing what it is that you guys come up with, related to the theme and what your thought process is and how you go about, developing solutions into that nature. I was given 15 minutes to kind of chat along here, but I'm probably those of you that know me, I'm not really long-winded. I'm straight to the point, and I'm not going to kind of pad this and fluff just to hear myself talk. So having said that, I'm going to turn you back over to Ms. Burrows, who will kind of take it the rest of the way, and Jesse as well.
Well, thank you, Ken. I know jobs matter to everyone, so this is an important topic we have for this year's theme. But before we get started, we do need to go over some housekeeping for this event. Most of the information I'm going to go over now is available in your participant guide that was sent out prior to the event. It is also in the guide that is in your calendar invite, but let's roll through it now. As Ken said, this year the theme is boosting the Virginia workforce. And in May of 2023, Governor Youngkin created a new agency for workforce development in the Commonwealth of Virginia. In August of 2023, Governor Youngkin also announced $2.3 million in workforce opportunity grants across the Commonwealth of Virginia, thus establishing workforce growth and development as a key priority of his administration. The 2024 Virginia Datathon aims to source the best and the brightest minds across the Commonwealth to address workforce development. Participants in this event will use Commonwealth data sets to provide fresh, unique ideas to determine how Commonwealth leaders can develop and expand the workforce. Overall, the goal is to figure out how to help people find jobs and training that will make Virginia the best place to work, live, and raise a family. Participants are encouraged, but not required, to compare Virginia workforce development progress to other states.
Fudge.
Now let's talk about your presentations. So everyone who's participating, your presentations will need to be pre-recorded and should not exceed 5 minutes in length. Judges are only going to watch those first 5 minutes, so keep that in mind. You'll need to submit your presentations by noon on Thursday, April the 18th. Introduce your team's name and team number in the introduction of your presentation, so don't forget that. State the problem, your solution, how you got there, and the value proposition and value to the community as well as the Commonwealth. Make sure to cite your sources at the end of the presentation. That's very important. Okay. Have your team captain upload your video to YouTube with the title format, team name, then the team number, 2024 Datathon, and make sure to make the video public. These videos are going to be added to ODGA's YouTube channel on a Datathon 2024 playlist, and solutions will be made available to the public. But you got to let us know it's out there. So once you've got the video uploaded to YouTube, send the link to jesse.bailey@odga.virginia.gov. Make sure not to miss that final step. So again, all these instructions are in your participant guide. So once you send that video, you upload it to YouTube, you're going to get a confirmation email, but it's going to be during normal working hours. So if you submitted at 2 a.m., we will not be sending confirmation emails out at 2 in the morning. So don't worry, you will get that confirmation email. And your participation is your permission for posting the team presentation to the ODGA YouTube channel. All right, so that covers your presentation. Now let's talk about judging. There's going to be 2 judging sessions. Pre-judging occurs on Thursday, April the 18th. The pre-judges are going to look at all 20 solutions and narrow it down to the top 10. Then final judging will happen live on Friday, April the 19th. The final judges will view the top 10 solutions and pick the first, second, and third place winners at the ACA Richmond Shriner Center. The top 10 solutions are going to be a surprise, so you won't want to miss the event on April 19th. So how do you win? Well, here's the judging criteria for both judging sessions. First is impact. As it relates to the theme, that counts as 35% of the overall score. Innovation, 20%. Then feasibility of implementing your solution, 20%. Completeness of the idea, 15%. And then finally, overall presentation at 10%. As we said, there are awards for first, second, and third place. I'm happy to announce for the first place finishers, there's $500 Amazon gift cards for each first place team participant. For second place, it's $350 Amazon gift card for each team participant. For third, it's $150. And then there's a People's Choice Award. So the People's Choice Award gets a $100 Amazon gift card for each participant. This prize will be limited to the top 10 solutions displayed at the in-person portion of the event. Tag us on LinkedIn, hashtag 2024 Virginia Datathon. There's going to be a drawing for a prize given to one person who posts about the event on LinkedIn from now until Thursday, April the 18th, using a hashtag and tagging the Virginia Office of Data Governance and Analytics. So spread the word about the Datathon, and you may be one of the lucky prize winners for this event. So where are you going to find all this data to do your analysis? You're going to go to the Virginia Open Data Portal, which is data.virginia.gov. You will click on Organizations and then click on Datathon. If you want to use data that's not in this Open Data Portal, you need to share that file with the Datathon planning team immediately, and it must be public data. So the Datathon planning team will upload that data set to the Virginia Open Data Portal for all of the teams to use. So Jessie is now going to give you a quick tutorial and share her screen on how you can find the data in Virginia's Open Data Portal.
All right, thank you, Chris. All right, so let me share my screen. And first I want to say it's great to see so many people at the virtual kickoff. This is pretty awesome. All right, so Chris, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this is the homepage for the Virginia Open Data Portal, and the URL is data.virginia.gov, super simple. So you click on Organizations. So once you're on the Organizations page, you can see all of the groups that we have data for, so various agencies and things like that. So you're going to want to go to Datathon 2024, click that, and then you'll bring up all the data sets here for you. So there's 255 data sets available for you for this event. And then like Chris said, if you wanted to use anything that's not on the Open Data Portal, it has to be open public data, and then you have to share it with the Datathon planning team so we can upload it to the Open Data Portal for all teams to use. But yeah, that's pretty simple. Just Open Data Portal, hit Organizations, then hit Datathon.
All right. Well, and some more logistics. So today's recording of the session is going to be posted on YouTube after the kickoff. We're going to send out a link later on today. As Jessie said, the data is now available. We launched it on the Open Data Portal this morning, so you can get started right now. But before you do, let's talk about how this week is going to work. So, as I said, the data is available. On Monday, we're going to have some subject matter expert sessions from 1 to 2 p.m. Those subject matter expert sessions are going to be held in 3 separate teams meeting rooms. The teams rooms will be divided up by category. There's going to be one room for Open Data Portal assistance. So if you need help accessing data on the portal that Jessie just showed you, you can attend that meeting. If you need technical data assistance, we have a room for that. So if you're struggling with Excel and SQL, we have subject matter experts that can assist there. And we also have assistance from the Virginia Employment Commission. They can talk about the data that they provided. You should have 3 separate invites for all of those subject matter expert rooms. And if you have any questions about which subject matter expert room best suits your question, just email us and we will point you in the right direction. On Wednesday, April the 17th, we're going to have a similar set of sessions from 1 to 2. So don't worry if all of a sudden after Monday you have questions. We've got another one lined up so that you can pose those to the experts. Then on Thursday, April the 18th, your presentations are due by noon Eastern time, not Central time, not Pacific time, noon Eastern time. Prejudging is going to occur Thursday afternoon, so make sure to get your presentations in on time. Then on Friday, we have the in-person event. Attendance is required, but let us know if you cannot come. This will be held from 8 a.m. to approximately 1:30 p.m. with an optional networking event afterwards, and it's at the Richmond Aka Shriner Center. If you do not attend this portion of the event, you will not get your t-shirt, and they're very nice t-shirts, or a certificate. We will have food for breakfast. It's Panera and Chick-fil-A for lunch. So follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated with the 2024 Virginia Datathon. There's exciting activities happening all week long. And we do want to send a special shout out thanks to our sponsors. Our title sponsor is OpenGov. The Gigabyte sponsors are Voyatech, OpenText Vertica, and CarMax. The Kilobyte sponsors are Dataversity Training Center and Carity and Company. And our SWAM sponsor is Macon IT. And we couldn't do this event without our data providers. So thank you so much to the Virginia Employment Commission, the Virginia Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services, Virginia Works, the Virginia Department of Education, the City of Norfolk Open Data Portal, the Virginia State Council of Higher Education, the Virginia Department of Human Resources Management, the City of Virginia Beach Open Data Portal, the City of Arlington Open Data Portal, and finally the Department of Small Business Supplier Diversity. It takes a village, right, to launch these datathons and get some exciting solutions to expanding the workforce in Virginia. So next up, we have Vanessa Jackson. She is going to share her insights on creating a great presentation. Vanessa Jackson is a 2018 graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University with a Master's of Fine Arts in Theater Pedagogy, sorry about that, and a 2015 graduate of Virginia Union University School of Theology, and a 1999 graduate of the VCU School of Business. Vanessa worked as a financial analyst for more than 12 years. She has been a playwright for over 20 years. She began writing for small productions within her local church, St. John United Holy Church. Her productions grew from the quaint facility of her church to several stages throughout Virginia. She's an adjunct faculty member at VCU, teaching effective speech and winning presentations. So we're so excited to hear what Vanessa has to offer.
It was May 16th, 1981. I was a young teenager at the time, sitting in an audience in great anticipation, waiting to hear from the speaker. And I was nervous. Why? Because that speaker was my mother. She was to address an audience of about 300 individuals, and it was her first time standing before an audience of that size, and all of the attention was on her. I was nervous for my mother, but I still remember as she stood before that podium, she was calm, she was very courageous, and she was confident. Now, my mother had never taken a public speaking class, but she had certainly mastered the fundamentals of effective speech. Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa Jackson. I am an adjunct faculty member at Virginia Commonwealth University. I teach effective speech and winning presentations. Now, my mother, even though she'd never taken a public speaking class, there are a few things I believe we can glean from my mother and actually use as tools to become more effective speakers. Well, today we will talk about organizing the content of a presentation. We'll talk about developing the presentation. And finally, we will talk about delivery. First, let's begin with organizing the content. Right now, as you have gathered information from certain studies that you've looked at and you've gathered data, you probably have far more material and data and information than you are able to use for a particular presentation. And you may be wondering, how do I determine what information should be used and what information that's been gathered should be excluded or at least set to the side for now? One of the ways to determine that is asking yourself the question, who is my audience? When you have defined your audience, you know who's in the audience, you understand the expectation of that audience. In addition to that, if you have any guidelines relative to the presentation, that will also be helpful in determining what information to keep and what information to exclude. When you've determined the expectation of your audience, you then want to determine what the purpose of this presentation is. Now that you've gathered this information, what is this information telling you? What is the purpose of this presentation? What do you hope to convey to the audience? When you have determined the purpose of your presentation, think about what it is you want your audience to consider, what you want your audience to think. You will tailor your presentation to that particular audience by giving them enough content to think about while you are presenting. You want to consider what you want your audience to feel. That is the emotive element of the presentation. What emotions do you want them to feel while you are presenting? And you can tailor your presentation to ensure that your audience is thinking and feeling what you intend for them to think and feel in the moment. And next, you also want to consider what you want the audience to do with the content that you are sharing. And we will talk about that in just a few moments. So now that we've discussed organizing the content, let's go ahead and move to developing the presentation. You want to use a format to develop your presentation, and that format will include an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Let's begin with the introduction. With your introduction, you want to start your presentation with a hook that is intended to grasp the attention of your audience. That hook can be a story that you share. It could be a question, a quote, a fact, or a statistic. And there may be a couple of other instances of a hook, something that will grab the attention of your audience and cause them to lean in to hear what you have to say with regard to this topic. Once you have established that hook, you want to introduce yourself, your team members, and establish any credibility. What gives you the right to talk to this particular audience with regard to this topic? And then you want to give a preview statement, just a bit of a teaser to pique the interest of your audience, to let them know what you will be exploring in this presentation. Once you have defined well your introduction, now you want to move to the body of the presentation. Most individuals will call this the meat of the presentation. This is where your main points will be, and those main points should be supported with evidence. Evidence can be found in the research that you've completed. Evidence could be also determined by a particular story that drives that point home to your audience. So one of the things you want to do in establishing and defining these points, you want to ensure that your evidence supports those points in order to drive that information home to your audience so that they fully understand the points that you are making. Once you have fully developed the body of the presentation, you want to move to the conclusion of your presentation. In your conclusion, this is the point where you want to tell the audience what you want them to do with the information that you've just shared. You don't simply want to share the information without asking them to do whatever it is you want them to do with that information. That's your call to action. Once you've established that call to action, you want to summarize those main points and then end with the final, or what we consider a mic drop statement. Once you have developed the presentation, now it's time for you to deliver the presentation. Now, when we talk about delivery, you want to deliver with confidence. So one of the things you want to do is consider your vocal abilities, your vocal variety. That is the way, the manner in which you deliver or articulate that information to your audience. It's in your tone, it's in your pitch, that's the highs and the lows of your voice. It's in your tempo, how fast you talk or how slow you talk. Can also be relative to volume, how loud or how softly you talk. Understand this, when you are presenting, you want to ensure that your audience can hear you. So make sure you speak up. In addition to that, let's not forget body language. Body language is certainly important within a presentation. It involves the way you use your hands. And if you use your hands in conversation, you can use your hands in a presentation as well. It involves the way you stand or carry yourself in confidence. And it also involves the manner in which you look, eye contact with your audience. That means distributing that eye contact evenly to different individuals within your audience and different sections of your audience, such that everyone feels included within your presentation. So now that you have the tools in order to create an effective presentation, that is organizing your content, developing your presentation, and delivering with confidence, I hope that you will take a pointer or two from my mother. I hope you will stand before your audience in confidence and deliver a compelling and impactful presentation.
Well, that was a great presentation on actually making presentations. So we hope everybody got something out of that and you are ready for the presentations you will deliver next Friday. So we've presented a lot of information to you, a lot of logistics and such, but you may still have questions. So we're going to open the floor right now for a Q&A session. So if you do have a question, you can raise your hand, you can come off mute and ask, and Aaron will call on you. I guess we did a thorough job of covering everything. So, well, thanks to Jesse and Aaron for all the prep work they did that made this so easy to understand. As I said before, the open data portal is open with the data to help you with the workforce development exercise. So we want you to hurry up and get started. We can't wait to see the innovative insights that you have to present to us next week. And I will close this meeting with my favorite thing, a pun. Where does Data get his fish? A data lake. Okay, so on that note, we can adjourn this meeting and you guys can get to work. Thank you all very much.
Chris, somebody did the laughing reaction to your data pun, so it was appreciated.
I'd say it's a dad joke, but I guess it's a mom joke. So thank you all.
Yeah, we'll just hang out until, everybody leaves in case somebody has a question they didn't
Okay.
want to ask in front of the group.
Okay.